Hello? Hello? Are we live? Hello? Hello? I see everybody in there. Hey, 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 hey. Let me see who's in here. I haven't seen me pop up yet. Excuse me. Y'all, we're going to talk about this cough in a minute. But I haven't popped up yet. Rude. Anyway, but I see you. I see you. And I see Heidi. Hey, Heidi. How you doing? And I see Gosha. Hi, Gosha. Love you, Gosha. And I see. Oh, Heidi. I was listening to something. Sorry, it's so rude. Um, I see Ladonna. I see. Oh, hold on, please. Oh, I see Ladonna. Hey, Ladonna. Hello everyone and welcome. If this is your first time, I'm Dolores and I am Miss Damn Jewelry. If this is not your first time, welcome back, y'all. How has everybody been? Tell me about your week so far, or the last 2 weeks since I saw you. Um, the last time I saw y'all, remember I had a cough? Hey Jane, how you doing? I had that cough and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have this little cough. And y'all, that Monday I woke up, I had to go to the doctor. I had a respiratory, upper respiratory infection. Hey Kathy, I was not best pleased, and I was off work all last week. Not this week, but the week before, because I was really, really sick. But you don't want to go to the doctor and be like, I have a cold, you know. But it had gone, it had surpassed the cold stage and got to a upper respiratory infection. So I got antibiotics and I'm good now, y'all. I'm good. I'm good. I hope everybody's doing well. There's like this cold bit in sickness bug that's been going around in the UK. I don't know if you guys are getting it in the United States, but it's nasty. But I feel better, except the other day. So, hey, hey, Kim, I'm better, girl. I'm better. I'm better. Um, the other day, I sneezed, and when I sneezed, I think I pulled a muscle right under my armpit because it's like really painful. It happened exactly when I sneezed, so I'm like, really? Can't I just catch a break? So it's still a little sore. Uh, Respiratory problems. Yeah, I apparently someone at my work has like a lung infection. I was like, ugh, glad I didn't went to the doctor when I did. But excuse me, y'all. I'm trying not to cough. I mean, the cough's gonna kind of hang around, but I overall, except for this pulled muscle thing under my armpit, it's kind of sharp. It hurts too. But I'll survive. I'll survive, y'all. I'll be fine. If it still hurts Monday, hey Nancy, I'm going back to the doctor. They're gonna get tired of seeing me, y'all. I think it'd be like, oh, this hypochondriac. And I'm not. I very rarely go to the doctor, and I very rarely miss work. So my coworker goes like, "Oh, you were real sick if you didn't come to work." I said, "Yeah, but I'm fine now." And it snowed yesterday here. What's the weather like there? It snowed quite a lot, and of course, traffic was crazy because people, feel like they got to go out in the snow and drive in it. I mean, I did because I was coming home from work, but but it was fine. By this morning it was melted and gone. So now we're at a lovely 43 degrees Fahrenheit and raining. So welcome to England. What, sneezing? But it's way up here. It's way up here, Kathy. It's like right. Like it's like right. I'm gonna sorry. So let me take my shirt off. No, it's right here. Like it's up high. I don't think my ribs are that high. Maybe they are. Could you imagine if I broke a rib sneezing? Oh, I'd be so annoyed. That would. But it's kind of. It's like right under my armpit to the right side of my boob. You know what I mean? On the right hand side. It's not a heart attack on the right hand side. um, yeah, I strained a muscle. That's what my friend told me. Who is he's not a doctor, but he has a degree in pharmaceutical chemistry. So I treat him like he's my doctor. And I asked him, and he said, "Oh, you probably were already like strained from coughing, and then when that sneeze came, did you in?" All right, all right. I'm gonna just sorry, y'all. I'm just muting the mic so you don't hear me hack up my broken rib. Um, 52 and sunny. Oh, see, Kim. Everybody, I swear to God, everybody's getting something. Yeah, he's not a doctor when he plays it on TV. When he plays one at my work, he didn't even ask to be my doctor. I just appointed him my doctor. You're my doctor now. Um, Oh, okay, okay, yeah. And the thing is, I sneezed, and my coworker, Dr. Elliot, so I like to call him, um, he said, "Did you try to stifle it?" I said, "A little bit, yeah." He said, "Yeah, you probably pulled a muscle." Anyway, so I'm glad everybody's sick like me. No, I feel better, Heidi, because this the struggle was real, and it wasn't like I couldn't breathe. It was like, so I started telling my symptoms, like, y'all want to know. And then what happened, Doris? Well, then I coughed so much I was hoarse. I mean, it was like, "Hi, how you doing?" I mean, that's exactly what it sounded like. It was awful. I mean, Dave was probably glad I couldn't talk, but you know. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys are here. Uh, see, Heidi, I heard it was Elliot, Dr. Elliot, as I like to refer to him, told me to put a cool compress on it. But then he said, well, you could probably, because I was like, cold? It's already cold here. I could lay in the snow. You know what I mean? He said, well, you could alternate cold and hot. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. 61 degrees in Ohio. Nice. Yeah, it's the weather here's pants. Again, with the dry heat that we have in our houses here in the UK, and just people, just being out in life, you're going to get sick. I can't avoid going to work. And I only work with one other person. I mean, in my lab, it's like just me and Paul, my coworker Paul. And he didn't get sick, so thank God, because that'd have been a mess if he'd gotten sick too. But anyway, I'm glad I have been attached to the heat blanket. Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you, Heidi. It's cold, and it's the damp too, y'all. It's the damp here. I'm sure Heidi gets it too there. But it's damp. Damp will mess you up, man. I'm cold and damp ain't fun. Um, Thanks, girl. Yeah, I like I said, I went to the doctor and I was like, should I go? Am I like a big, am I like a punk going to the doctor for a cold? But I'm glad I went, because she was like, yeah, you got a past cold now. Anyway, but I'm glad everybody's here. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Thanks for popping in, y'all. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, Karen. Um, so today I want everybody, and oh God, of course Chica's gonna jump up here now. Ma'am, there's no room at the end for you, girl. You got to go. Go on now. Sorry, that's the cat shaking the table. It's a small card table. It's not meant for her and 15 other things on here. So it's just for, she tries it though. So since we're all here and we're all hanging out, I want you all to do me a favor. I want you to all cast your minds back. Go back in your mind, back in time to your 20s. Let's get to your 20s. Okay, so let's go back in time. We're in our 20s. We're living our best life. We're skinny. We're cute. Okay, so now that you're 20s, let's go a little further back. Go a little further back in your mind, and you're in your teens. You're awkward. You're angry, and you think you know it all. Okay, so now we're at our teens. So we've gone to our teens. We're going back a little more till about 10. So we're 10 years old. 10 years old, we're running around, oh, everything's great, wonderful. We're 10 years old now, and we're great and we're wonderful, and life's an adventure. Cast your mind back a little. Oh, girl, I hated high school. So, me and high school did not get along. Nope. I'm having 3 kids in 20s. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I had 1, but I don't know. It was hard. I can imagine 3. Now cast your mind back from 10 years old to about between the ages of 3 and 5. So now, 20s, 17s, 70s, teens, the 60s, be careful. I was a teen in the 80s, so, I was a hot mess express. I thought I was all that in the bag of chips, honey. I was not. Truth is, I was not. So we're going to cast our mind back a little further, and we're about between 3 and 5 now. So now we're all 3. I had a ball between. Yeah, who didn't, right? Everybody. Who didn't left between 3 and 5? It was great, no worries. Excuse me. So now we're all 3 to 5 years old, and there was things that we like to do, and ways we learned. There was ways that our parents taught us to read or talk and say words, and one of those ways was nursery rhymes. Yes, we're gonna talk. Oh yeah, girl. If I had the energy of a 3-year-old, I'd get so much done, but I don't. Um, so we're gonna talk about nursery rhymes, old timey, old worldy. Nursery rhymes. When you hear them, you sang them when you were a kid. You knew them. They were important to you. You sang them with your friends. You sang them in pre-K or nursery, if that's what you called it, where you're at, pre-K, daycare, whatever you were in, even kindergarten. We were all singing nursery rhymes. So now that we're there, and so we're 3 and 5 years, between the ages of 3 and 5, and we're singing our nursery rhymes, and we're loving it. They're fun. They're sing-songy. Oh, they're easy to remember. Stop right there. Now you need to go all the way back. Now let's come back to the future. Let's come back to the present time. We are now 30s plus. Oh my God, you're in Venice? Did you tell Monica you were there? I hope you're having a wonderful time. Venice is amazing. Um, Amanda, I'm so glad you're in Venice. That must be so fun. So now let's fast forward back to our age now. Now we're grown ass adults now. We're, yes, we now say the nursery rhymes to our kids, our grandkids, great nieces, nephews, whoever. We're saying the nursery rhymes. Now, where'd they come from? Where these nursery rhymes come from, and what are their meanings? And I saw a couple of articles about nursery rhymes, and I was like, that's vintage. In fact, that's ancient. Some of them are ancient. So antique, even antique, ancient, whatever word you want to use. Yeah, we're 30 plus. We're sticking with that, Heidi. No one's, Middle Ages. Middle Ages, yes, medieval, very, very. I'm now middle age. I mean, past it, but okay. So we're gonna start with the first one, which is a real popular one. We all know this, and every time I say one of these nursery rhymes, here's what's gonna happen, because it happened to me. You're gonna start humming it in your head, because every time I read one, I was like, oh, it's like twinkle, twinkle, little star. Okay, because you can't help it. Yeah, grandkids are scared that what. Yeah, these nursery rhymes will do it. I'm tell you what. We're gonna get into it. So the first one is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You're all humming it in your head right now, because maybe it's just me because I'm a simpleton. But every time I read one of these, I was like, oh, yeah. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So let's start with that. A girl. Yeah, I've got a scarier one than that, but yes, that is pretty scary. Um, so what we're gonna do is start with just the easy ones, the fun ones, they had meaning, but they were they were interesting. Hey, H. Welch, thanks for popping in. Um, oh yeah, girl, Aesop's fables, they scared the poop out of me. I'm telling you right now. Ooh, girl. So, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The lyrics are from a 19th century poem by James Saylor called "The Star." So that's where the lyrics came from. Who put it to music? So, well, the tune that is used for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star it was taken from a French song called À vous de diriger maman, which I have no idea what it means. It's just a French song from 1761. That's ancient. But not only that, that very tune, that very French tune, which I will not try to repeat again because I do not want to slaughter the French language. I don't want them coming for me. You know what I mean? I don't need that. A beautiful song, a French song, caught the attention of a young Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who wrote 12 different variations of this one song by the age of 12. By the age of 12, Wolfgang Mozart wrote 12 variations of the song. So that is kind of the backstory of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Just easing you into it right now, because we're going to get crazy later. These nursery rhymes get crazy, y'all, and I mean, they just do. And so the next one, which I thought was interesting, was Baa Baa Black Sheep. Yes, you're humming it in your head. Well, excuse me, y'all. The earliest printed version of this song was in 1744. Now, I'm thinking, when you're a kid, I know. I didn't know Mozart. I mean, he was a clever guy. Clearly, he was a genius. But he was, wow. He just wrote 12 variations. Like, if you didn't have computers or phones or video games, kids nowadays be knocking out, symphonies. Um, so Baa Baa Black Sheep was printed in 1744. 17. I mean, now you're, because we've all sung it. Like, you've sung Baa Baa Black Sheep. Have you any more? We've all done it. We've sung it to ourselves. We've sung it to kids. Everything. It's a one-hit wonder. Um, and it was thought to be about the medieval the medieval wool trade in the 13th century England. Specifically, the public's reaction to and resentment towards the medieval English Great Wool Tax of 1275. I mean, these English people just taxing. They like to tax the heck out of a. They tax you up here. Um, see, I I thought they were. Like, yeah, about Victorian time. Like, I thought that's about as old as they are. But yeah, they're quite old. Um, oh yes, girl. Sorry, you're killing me, Smalls. If you write it, let me know. We'll put it out there. That's coming up too. So, and the money from this wool tax was used by King Edward the First to fund the Crusades. So, to me, like, so the public's like, yeah, you know what? We're not real happy about this tax. We're gonna go ahead and like write a diss track on it. The world's first diss track, right here, Baa Baa Black Sheep. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna diss you, English government, English monarchy. So, and in the lyrics, we know it as a happy ending. So we know it like, the happy ending with the little boy lives down the lane, a young shepherd, um, and he's getting a third of his profits. Hey, Bree, how you doing, Bree? Thanks for popping in. So in the song, the boy goes happily down the lane with a third of his profits, from his little sheep that he took to get the wool from. They took the wool from. Actually, that until the late 16th century, the lyrics were actually, and none for the little boy who cries down the lane. So he didn't get no money, y'all. That money was funneled to the Crusades, so these people paid their taxes for the wool, now a new tax, because why not, England? To help Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and oh, that's a good one too. And honestly, the first diss track ever made was by the great people, the peasants of not peasants, but the workers of Great Britain, who had to pay a tax on wool. I thought that was interesting because it's just such a happy song, and it's basically like, yeah, we don't want to pay taxes, or you're taxing us too much. So that was interesting. I just thought that was really crazy. So the next one, Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Everybody's saying it in their head right now. Which one, Little Miss Muffet? I thought it was an American thing, probably because I'm American, and everything's in America, But I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was, like more of a modern, like Victorian, like a Victorian. The earliest, it is the earliest recorded version dates from 1805, but believed to be much older, as it's similar to such rhymes as Little Jack Horner, which date back to 1720. So we were all wrong. I was wrong. I thought this was something that was way more modern than 1705 or 1720. And who exactly is Little Miss Muffet? Some say she was the daughter of Dr. Thomas Muffet, an English physician and entomologist who published an academic list of British insects between 1553 and 1604. So that to me makes sense because, you know, like you're this little kid, you're a little girl, you're living your best, you know, 1805 life, whatever that may be. You have a stick and a hoop and, you know, you're just going along, whatever they played with. And your dad comes home and it's like, look what I've got. And he like opens his box and there's like spiders and you're like, no. And so she was probably just having her lunch and dad just popped open a box of insects and spiders. And she was absolutely like, absolutely not, Dad. I'm out here. I'm trying to eat my curds away and you're bringing bugs in here. But others don't think it's about that at all. In fact, let me turn my page, please. Thank you. Oh, please. Other people think it's about Mary Queen of Scots, while the spider would be John Knox, the Scottish priest who openly preached against her and argued she was a danger to the Protestant cause. So I feel like that's weird. I don't know. Hi, doll. No, get down. Don't get mama. No, chica. No, oh, hang on. Hold, please. Cat issues. Okay, go on. I don't know if they are. It's actually a British one, but I just assumed it was American. I mean, you know, I don't know because I was an American child and I learned it in American schools. And I just assumed it was American, but it's actually, and I don't understand why it's the. Oh, the spider is John Knox. Okay, Chica behind me. So the spider would have been John Knox, the priest who preached against her. Okay, and he came down beside her. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So that was weird. I think it may be an older thing, but I kind of think it's about Dr. Muffet and his kid. That just makes more sense to me. I mean, yeah, it's a stretch saying it was Mary, Queen of Scots. I mean, which one day we will talk about because she's quite interesting. So the next one is this is in the Preschoolers Hall of Fame of nursery rhymes. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think it was. Here's the thing, because my coworker, Heidi, that's a good question. I think my coworker said when I was telling him about this, he was like, "Why would people make nursery rhymes about politics or religion or whatever?" I said, "I don't think they were for children. I think initially they were sung by the adults, and then the kids kind of were like, oh, that's a catchy little tune,' and they started singing it too. So I think that's why I don't think they were meant initially for children. I think they were a way to discuss certain things without maybe being prosecuted for it or maybe being dragged to the dungeon for it, you know, for going against the king or whomever. So I think that's what these nursery rhymes kind of were. The Incy Wincy Spider or Itsy Bitsy Spider, is, I couldn't find a lot of information on it. Yes, you girl, we're gonna get there. That girl. Some of the girl. Some of these other nursery rhymes, I can't believe I was singing them, but as a child. So so but there's not. I couldn't find a lot about the Incy Wincy Spider or the Itsy Bitsy Spider, except that a few theories suggest it's meaning that the spider symbolizes the struggles of the working class. Sure, okay. I mean, if you want to, okay, these are not my theories. These are theories I looked up, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess in a vague way, you can see it. You can see it. Let's see. Yeah, childhood wasn't a thing until yeah, exactly. It wasn't because children were born to work. Hey, Sandy. Yeah, the church and the monarchy probably would have had you prosecuted. Everybody, you were a witch. That was it. You're gonna be witch finder general gonna get you if you had anything to say negative against anybody. So the next one, this is really interesting. This one, patty cake. Not scary, not bad, but interesting. So it was first recorded in Thomas de Urfray's 1698 play, The Campaigners. This is one of the oldest surviving English nursery rhymes. I probably not, but that's what this stated. It may refer to the cake making at the time when households without an oven could take their item to a local baker and pay them to finish the items off, to finish the baking off. The pastries would be marked to ensure that they were to return to the right owner. I mean, clever. I mean, I don't know much about medieval or houses or houses in the Georgian period. I figured maybe some people probably couldn't afford ovens or didn't have an oven in which, like, to bake cakes or pastries. So they had cooking utensils and cooking stoves and stuff, but maybe they didn't have like actual ovens. So they would take to the local baker. And so, like, let's say I made a cake and then Jane down the street made a cake, and we've kind of made the same cake, but or we made similar cakes, but they would mark the cake or the pastry in order to give it back to whoever brought it in, which excuse me, I think is cool. I think it was quite interesting, and it does have to do with actual cake. She would have burned for sure. Even oh yeah, I would, girl. I'd have been the first one in line. They were uneducated, and the songs were way to pass around. That's it. Yes, there you go. That's how they passed around the news. And I think just kids picked it up. They were like, "Well, that's a cute little ditty." We'll sing it at school. So, powder cake is actually about cakes. No hidden meaning, just cakes. Which again is it's kind of neat that you know these nursery rhymes have all these hidden meanings, and we were just kids, just like singing them, and just you know, thinking they were great. It still happens in Morocco using a public oven. Oh, okay. There was a bread oven for the village. Oh my God. Yes, Kathy, we don't realize how many. Yeah, I think we forget that because we think everybody read. No, only the people who were in power in the church or had what is thank you had religious uh power and kind of and laws. They were the only ones who read. Like the average person didn't really like have an education, read. So yeah, that's good. That's good. That's probably how they passed around the news. So the next one is Old Mother Hubbard. Who you're singing it in your head. Who was Old Mother Hubbard? Was she a real person? Did she exist? Some say, okay, this is where this is where I mean, they kind of go deep. Now, when I research this, I'm like, these people are going real deep with these meanings. I mean, like patty cake. Patty cake's about cake. That's all. We're all like, yes, great, we know. You know what I mean? So, so it's just, like, what is wrong with my thing? Oh, I stopped it. So these meanings, when I read them, I was like, where are you? I mean, how do you get from this to that? I didn't it's a real, and again, Sandy, it may be because this is the way they spread news. This is the way they told each other stuff. This is the way to talk about and be in discord with or be have your own opinion without getting prosecuted for it. Um, so when some people say, some experts, some theorists, not me, say that it represents Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, while the bone represents his unsuccessful attempt to get an annulment for King Henry VIII's marriage to Catherine of Aragon. What? I'm sorry, what? Huh? That's a lot. That's a lot for old Mother Hubbard. Went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard's bare. I don't know what. How is this? How is this representative of of Henry VIII's marriage to Catherine of Aragon? I don't understand it. And what in this cardinal trying to break it up? I don't understand. I really, you're reaching right there, sir, ma'am. You're reaching. But while others say, and I believe that, look, you can believe whatever you want to believe. If you can figure out how the Cardinal Thomas Wolsey was represented in this thing, to then you're smarter than me, because I could not figure that out. And I was sitting there like this. So he's the bone, or she's the bone. It blew my mind. I was like, I don't understand how this is a thing, but actually, uh, while others say it was a Miss Sarah Catherine Martin, a retired housekeeper, who wrote and illustrated the published version of the rhyme in 1804. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go, it was probably a housekeeper who, you know, worked with children, and, you know, she was very clever and thought, you know what? I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about the things I see and the experiences I had. And so I believe she published quite a few books. Regardless, though, Old Mother Hubbard was an instant hit when it came out. Um, oh yeah, they were rude and crude. Oh, they were, girl. They were. Yeah, don't let them tutors fool you. They was nasty. Um, but when Mother Hubbard first came out, the nursery rhyme, it was a big hit. It was a huge hit. It inspired a series of books, memorabilia, and at the time, a Christmas pantomime, which is like a Christmas play with, you know, it's really, you take the whole family to go see. So it was, yeah, Old Mother Hubbard was, it was a big deal back in the day in 1805, 1804. Uh, which good for Miss Catherine Martin. You get your coin, girl. Now, we've talked about all the cute little fun ones. Oh, fun and sweet. And now we're going to talk about some dark stuff, y'all. These uh, uh, fluffy and light. Oh, Miss Muffet, how cute are you? How wonderful. How sweet. Now we're going dark, y'all. And I mean, some of these are like, say what? And again, like Sandy said, it was probably to spread news. Like these look, yay, it's dark. All right. I got you, Bree. um uh a lot of these fairy tales and rhymes, and nursery rhymes were basically about death, disease, violence, religious persecution, you know, all the things you want your kids to know at 5. So all the fun things like that. So the first one, I'd never heard of this. Please tell me if you've heard of this nursery rhyme. I do believe it's British, just based on when I did go to YouTube and hear it. Some of the wording was like, I was like, oh, okay, you know, that sounds British. And most of them are. But this one's called Oranges and Lemons. Huh. Never heard it. If you have not heard it, go on to YouTube and you can hear it play. It was weird. You even see the words come up, so you know. So there is a verse in the song that says, "A chopper to chop off your head," and it's not it's not a sea shanty. I thought it was. But it's pretty bleak when the kids are going, "Oh, chopper to chop off your head." Huh? It's a London rhyme. Oh, okay. So, well, yeah. See, because uh, some say it was about King Henry VIII's marital status, and the way he went, uh, the way he went to solve that issue. You know, which tracks that tracks for Henry VIII, doesn't it? I mean, you know, you know, bless his heart, he tried to get divorced, and they were like, which well, he created his own religion as well. Good for him. But yeah, so apparently it was about the way King Henry VIII dealt with his yes, it does tell about the churches. It talks a lot about the churches and the bells and owing money or something like that. Or the French Revolution. Yeah, yeah. And you know, a lot of these, now that I'm looking at them and reading them all now, a lot of these were about King Henry VIII, and I'm like, boy, was the gossip mongering going on then, honey? Let me tell you what. I mean, we couldn't help it. I mean, the guy's like, you know, by his fifth wife, people are starting to get a little suspicious. They're like, maybe something's going on here. So again, oranges and lemons, I've never heard of. Um, and it does, and you're right, Amanda. It does talk about a lot of churches and church bells and money, and so yeah. I mean, but just one of the theories was it was about the way um, Henry VIII decided to end his marriages. So now everybody's favorite, people have mentioned in the comments, it is Ring Around the Rosie. Yes, dark stuff here. Very dark and tragic. And we've sung it, and we're holding hands and ring around the roses. We're all in a little circle. We all done it. We're all in there ringing around the Rosie. However, as a lot of you stated in the comments, it was about the plague. Yes, it was. And scholars have long maintained that it is a cryptic rhyme about the deadly plague that killed millions in medieval Europe. Also, you know what killed millions in medieval? You know why? I'm gonna just go ahead and throw my love of cats in, because at the same time they were prosecuting people for witches, and they considered their cats a familiar. I don't know why not the dogs, but the cats. So they got rid of a lot of the cats, and which caused the rat population to grow, which caused the fleas on the rats to bite people, and that's how they got the plague. So it was a help. It was to help people work out which churches, were affiliated to the king, because he couldn't get what he wanted from the Catholic Church. So, cool. Because Henry, bless him. So the ring around the Rosie refers to a red circular rash common in certain plagues. And the posies were the flowers people carry to fend off illnesses. Like, can you imagine? Remember, and this is medieval times. People don't have, there's not medicine, there's not, and their way to deal with it and think, well, this will work, is to carry around flowers. I mean, you could have given me a bunch last week, and that hopefully would have warded off. It didn't work. It didn't happen. But yes, cats were seen as evil, and because of that, they killed a lot of the cats in Europe, which was reducing the rat population. But because they killed the cats, the rat population got out of control, and then you had the plague. You're welcome. Long live cats. And obviously the part where it says, and we all fall down. Well, and the smell of the girl, I don't think that flower was powerful enough. I mean, how strong does a posy smell? Because girl, they put that stuff in their nose, you got to get something like that. Because I don't think posy were doing it. I mean, you'd have to have a whole cart of posies, just like, yep, right in front of my face. And here's the thing. So again, that's what a lot of scholars say. Of course, there's some modern folklorists aren't convinced of the plague origin. I believe it is a plague origin. That's maybe because I've always been told that. But as far as I know, that's what it was. But some of the modern folklorists are convinced that the plague origin theory is not true, and some say it was a ban on dancing among the Protestants and the way people went about navigating it. So, hey, Priscilla. Yes, when I found that out, and I was like, cats rock. A girl, again, a pose is gonna be enough. You're gonna, I mean, that's a lot of posies. I mean, that's, you're gonna need a little bit. I mean, maybe lavender would. No, lavender's not strong enough. I mean, it's strong, but it's not strong enough. So yeah, so some of the folklorists say that it was a ban. It was a way to circumnavigate the ban on dancing, and so they would just sing this little song, and they would still get to dance, because when you ring around the roses, you're dancing. I guess, sure, a form of dancing. So I'm going to go with plague. Plague for 100, Alex. Thank you. So, child, the next one. This got me. This got me. I was like, oh, oh, when I read it, I was like, oh. Now, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? How does it grow? How you doing over there, Mary? Well, this little ditty is believed to be about Bloody Mary, which is King Henry VIII's daughter, and her murder of Protestants. I was like, okay. So, and some say the garden is the graveyards that were filling with the martyred Protestants, while the silver bells, oh my God, refer to the thumb screws that, you would go ahead and put on these poor people after, once you're going to prosecute them. And the cockle shells, the cockle shells, y'all, I don't know how I can say this on YouTube without getting banned, but the cockle shells were instruments of torture for men. I'll let that sink in. You can figure it out. Yep, cockle shells were placed in a precarious position on men. And those pretty maids, the pretty maids that they talk about, people lined up for execution. I mean, I think this takes the cake for the darkest nursery rhyme ever. I'm like, what? I mean, I'm like, because you say it in your head. You're saying it in your head. You're going, Mary, Mary, and you're trying to figure out where the cockle shells. Yeah. And the pretty maids. Oh yeah, blew my mind. Oh yeah, they sure did. They started lots of terror, and it. We won't go into that though. Got me. My mouth dropped when I was reading it. I actually was like, "Do what now?" I said, "Oh my God." God, I was like, you're a kid and you're singing it, and you're thinking of a pretty lady in a garden. Oh no, she's thumbscrewing folk. Okay, that's exactly. I mean, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They did awful things, Heidi. Ugh, but that mind blown. I was like, good God. I mean, okay. And so the next we have Three Blind Mice. Is it a tale of a vicious, knife-wielding farmer's wife coming after those wee little mice? Is it though? Is it? It could be. Or is it, as one theory might suggest, that the mice represent three Protestant loyalists who were accused of plotting against Catholic Queen Mary, Mary Queen of Scots, because she was Catholic, in the 16th. Was it Mary Queen of Scots? No, it must have been Bloody Mary. It was Bloody Mary. Yeah, sorry. Catholic Queen Mary in the 16th century. She didn't cut off their tails, though. Didn't cut off their tails. She went ahead and burned them at the stake. Like, how many times have I sung that to myself, to children, to friends, and I'm just like promoting this. I'm like, yeah, I wonder what the modern equivalent is. Oh God, I mean, we'd haggle a guess, but I don't know. I mean, it. What? So it's either that the farmer's wife was a little bit tired of well, maybe you shouldn't have been killing all them cats then, huh? Maybe you should have left the cats alone. Not mad about the cats. It happened how many years ago? I'm still mad about it. And maybe it was about, a knife-wielding farmer's wife trying to get the wee mice. Or it's about Catholic Queen Mary in the 16th century trying to kill some folks who tried to plot against her. Woo! Woo, woo, y'all. Mm, uh, yep, yep, absolutely, yep. There's plenty to choose from, unfortunately. Rockabye Baby. So we all, I mean, just if you just say the nursery rhyme to yourself, it already sounds bad. At face value, a plummeting baby doesn't come across as a fun sing along. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just does it. Just although we've sung it, we sing it turkey. Goodbye, baby. You sang it. You were rocking your baby. You did it. Um, and that should have been the first hint that something was wrong. This song was not a fun little ditty that we thought it was. Yeah, I can put these in. I can go back and edit. Yeah, I can put these names in. And I can do that for you. Yeah. Um, hey Margot, what up? How's Brad? Um, so yeah, obviously babies plummeting from treetops it's scary stuff, scary shit. But some say, of course they do. Of course, some say, not me, but some say that it's really about uh, King James II of England, who, in a bid to produce a Catholic heir, supposedly smuggled another man's child into the birthing chamber. Um, the plan didn't work because the House of Stuart was doomed to fail. So, uh, oh, he's just walking there. Hey, Red, thanks for shopping. Um, so yeah, so both are bad. Stealing other people's children and babies falling from treetops. Not too happy of a song. Um, yeah, well, I think we don't want to get political, but yeah. um, yeah. So trying to I mean I don't know if he produced an error. I would say not. I would think he didn't, based on this. So again, the that was already going to be kind of a negative nursery rhyme. So here we go round the mulberry bush. We've all sung it. You're singing it now. Where you're with your kid, dancing with your friends, going around the mulberry bush. Yeah, best time ever. Okay, so this is actually about Wakefield Prison in West Yorkshire, which is technically right up the road from me. It's right up the M1. I could go there and it could be in an hour. The prison is still there. Just FYI. um, and this was commemorating the walks around the prison yard that female prisoners and their children took. I'm sorry, what? I, I mean, okay, female prisoners, I get, and their children. What were they in there for? Being women? What are we talking about? Why were children in prison? It's like, oh my god, why? I mean, okay, they needed a mom, but I mean, to be in a prison. Yes. So, yeah, they used to walk around the yard with their children, the female prisoners and their children, because clearly now their children are prisoners too. And there was a they'd walk around the yard, and in the middle of the yard was a mulberry bush. Now, I'm not sure what a mulberry. I should have probably Googled this. I'm not sure what a mulberry bush is. I'm not sure if can you eat a mulberry? Are they tasty? Unclear. If you know what a mulberry bush is, please put it in the comments, or in the comments afterward if you're watching this later. Please comment, because I don't know quite what a mulberry bush is. So some insist that this is the same mulberry bush that continued to grow inside the prison until 2017. So this mulberry bush was still there up until 2017, which unfortunately died of a beetle infestation. Whether it's true or not, the prison itself dates back to 1594. Okay, so all right, here we go. Mulberries are hot. Oh, Okay, mulberry trees. The berries are good. Oh, okay. Small berry makes a great wine or jar. I'm gonna have to invest. Dave, we're planting a mulberry bush in the backyard, along with the 4 apple trees you planted. So the prison itself dates back and is still operational, back to 1594, and the the prison has chosen the mulberry bush as its emblem. Um, do prisons have emblems? I mean, is it like, oh, look, I got this shirt with the mulberry bush on? Oh, yes, from Wakefield Prison. Who's doing that? And why were these? Look, I don't know why these women were in prison. Probably because they were women. But and their children. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you said. Heidi said a couple of comments ago that they would give birth in prison. It's like you just left them there. Like, I mean, but maybe in a way, maybe they were safe in the prison. You know what I mean? Like back in them days, they probably were. Um, and I guess at least they had their children with them. I mean, is that a plus? Unclear. I mean, but I guess where would you put him? Oh, in the workhouse. Oh yeah, that's where you put him, in the workhouse. But I just thought that, which I really thought was a kind of a neat thing, because not a neat thing. I mean, oh my God, that's not. But interesting, because like I said, Wakefield Prison's like an hour from my house. Um, I've never been there and don't wish to visit or be a resident of Wakefield Prison at all. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, but I'm trying to think of. Hey, Christy, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and it is, and again, maybe to this sounds awful, but maybe to some degree, they were. I mean, were they, being taken care of? I don't. I just don't. I mean, look, they were putting women in prison because they had a birthmark somewhere on their face. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to. Women still give birth. Oh, oh. I know, but the kids don't stay there. I mean, I know they do, and I think it's sad and it's awful, and just it's got to be a better way. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to get onto that soapbox, but I just found it, like I said, interesting because I sang "Here We Go Around the Mulberry Bush" as a kid. Do you know what I mean? Like we all sung it. Now, as an adult, to find out that it's about a prison about an hour from my house, it's fascinating. Fascinating, very fascinating. I just I didn't know that. I would have never known that. I had never ever known that. Oh yeah, girl. Maybe that's, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, true. And I just think, were they pregnant before they went in prison or after? Because if it's a women's prison, well, I don't even know if it was women's prison. It was just a prison. I don't know if they separated them. I have no idea. This prison was back in 1594, so cat on my, oh, there was a cat on my shirt though. I mean, it's a surprise that she has. Bria, Bree, she has tried coming up here already once, and we've had an argument about it. So, uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. I just when I was just like, when I first read it, my face, like, I was like, oh, female prisoners and their children. What? Just shocking, shocking, girl. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we used to. I mean, there's all kinds of things we used to sing, and even though that we now know the dark history of them, are we gonna love them any? Are we gonna love them any less? I mean, okay. I mean, this is the whole another show. Uh, I mean, and I get that, and I think to some degree that is fair, but now the kid's in prison. That's just kind of how I mean, yeah, it's a tough one, but I mean, it's like what's for the best. I don't know. I'm not a child psychologist. I don't know, but and as dark, and like I said, as dark as some of these, Mary Mary Quiet Contrary got me. Am I ever going to sing that again? Yeah, I probably will. Probably will. Yeah, well, some nursery, I could see. I mean, and a lot of them, a lot of what I just read are, we're at the age where we're grandparents now, or we have great nieces and nephews, and I know that my um, great nieces, two of the cutest things you ever want to see, um, Bailey and Dallas, if they're not watching, but hey, um, uh, that I've heard my niece sing them to them, which in a way is yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know. Girl, like I said, Aesop's Fables used to freak me out. I swear to God, I had a book of it when I was a kid, and I was like, these are scary. Um, but I think even though they have a dark history, now that we know, I mean, some of them we did know, like Ring Around the Roses. We knew that. We didn't know it as children. And I'm not going to go to my great nieces and go, you know what Mary Quite Contrary is about, do you? Well, let me tell you, I'm not going to go. I'll let them. Grimm's Fairy Tale. Yes. Um, no, I don't think it does. I don't think I look. I think they're um, sure they have these meanings, but I didn't know half these meanings till I looked them up. So I was living in under the guise. I mean, okay, Rockabye Baby, we all know that's a bit grim because kids are falling out of treetops. Not real good. Um, but a lot of them, again, Mary Quite Contrary. Never suspected that for a minute. But I think that even though now we know some of the dark history, I don't think it changes my outlook on or changes my like now my whole past isn't now changed because of this. I still um yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. And it's up to the parent if um they want to teach or the grandparent they want to teach your kid. And again, me knowing this now does not change that I enjoyed singing them when we casted our mind back. Remember when we casted our mind back till we were 3 or 5? We didn't care. We were just singing along. Oh, let's be honest. I mean, I, yeah. Oh, I'm sure they were like, "Why are you singing about kids falling out of trees, mom? Grandma." Yeah, and it's not even I just think that and look, some traditions should not be carried on. I agree with that, but I also think that I didn't know these things when I was a kid. I know them now, at 55-year-old woman, but as a kid, that and me singing them then doesn't change that I loved them as a kid. That I sang with them. That my friends and I would ring around the Rosie and Mary Quite Contrary and all the thing, Mulberry Bush, and that doesn't change that. That's still what I. It's interesting, but it doesn't change the fun I had as a kid. And and I think let them find out about it. Let them, because you know what? That it's history. A lot of it is historical. A lot of it's history, and they should know history because none of it's not all of it's nice. Not all of it was pretty. Not all of it was fluffy. Some of it was horrible, and sometimes I don't think they should know at 5, but I think as they grow older, sure, research it, find out, find out these things because the more you know, rainbow. A little star rainbow. I think arm. Don't ever outsource. I always say this: don't ever outsource your research. Find out for yourself because and make your own informed decision. You know, it's fine. Yeah, our kids find out everything. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't teach my kid math, so barely. It's like 2 plus 2. That's all. That's all I got. Um, yeah, they're not all being taught anymore. We were we're naive because not everything was like before us. We didn't couldn't just turn on a phone and see all this information blaring in front of us and telling us what we should think and what we had to figure it out for ourselves. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And I hope you enjoyed talking about these wonderful, wonderful nursery rhymes with me. It was kind of fun. It was kind of interesting. I really enjoyed it. I liked I'm glad you guys put your, comments in. I know. It's not real. It's on Facebook. Girl didn't have Facebook, so there's that. Simply because I clearly want to be ignorant. I don't have Facebook. I'd rather not know. Anyway, but I appreciate you guys. We're at the top of the hour. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this afternoon. I know you're all busy, and I know I appreciate you spending the hour with me. And I'm gonna let you guys get on with your day. And maybe next time it won't be so dark. It just depends on what I pick. All right, guys. Thank you for coming, Priscilla. I appreciate it. And I will see you in. Oh, you know what? No, no. I'm gonna see you next week. Double D's coming back next week, next Friday. We'll be on my channel. And oh, I'm sorry, Marco. We'll be on my channel next week. Double D returns next week, and we have a new little format for you. So I like dark too. So you guys take care. You have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys. Thanks for popping in. Bye.